What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight we continue our discussion about the Mammoth Strength Challenge V Pro-Am, discussing the ladies' middleweight category, and tonight we're going to talk about Jules Mansfield. Ciao, homie! Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. We also show you how to replicate some of those events at a smaller scale with objects all around you in your own home. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel so you get notified of all of the latest videos that I release 4 times a week for your viewing pleasure. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. So, before we get into that, let's talk about how you learn more about Mammoth. Well, first come to the Mammoth Strength Challenge V Pro-Am Facebook page, look them up. You get insight into who all the athletes are in all the different categories and events, including the record breakers. Head on over to Garage Gym Life Media, subscribe to them, watch the interview they did with me on this first one on the left. It was really a great listen. And then scroll down to the interview with David Waters. It's the only one in this kind of aqua color. That'll bring you over to the link in the description to their live stream for the contest, but I'm going to put it in my description below anyway. You'll get the link to the contest live stream as well as My Block's Strongest Man's official after show reaction live stream. Yes, I'm doing the official after show. And yes, if you haven't heard the big surprise, I'm interviewing 2020 America's Strongest Man, Marcus Crowder. Yes, be there or be square. Subscribe right now and set your reminders on both live streams so you don't forget. So, here it is. That's where you set your reminder. So going on to Jules Mansfield, let's see what the events are first as a reminder before we discuss where she's going to place. Well, the events are similar as they are for the pros, so overhead medley for 60 seconds, 110-pound log here, 110-pound axle, Mauser block for 120 pounds, and a Viking press at 145 for as many reps as possible in the remainder of the 60 seconds. We then move over to the deadlift medley, and in the deadlift medley, you have a 310-pound traditional deadlift, a 385-pound axle lift at 18 inches, and then a car deadlift for as many reps as possible in the remainder of the 60 seconds. I don't know what the weight is. It hasn't been discussed. Farmers and frames medley come next, 200 pounds per hand. On the farmers, out for 50 feet, coming back with a 400-pound frame for 50 feet. And then we go into the stone carry medley, 75-second time limit with a 160-pound natural stone, 155-pound Atlas stone, 180-pound Mauser block, and 200-pound Husafeld stone. They wrap it all up with a biggest tire flip, starting with a 400-pound tire flip, then a 450, and then a big 500-pound tire flip. So those are the events. How has Jules Mansfield been preparing for these events? Well, very well, if you ask me. Let's go to one of her first posts, and this one is an axle press, and it's followed up shortly by a log press. So I asked her, is this contest weight? Because she doesn't list a lot of her weights here. And she answered back, it's slightly above. So contest weight's 110. I'll say this is 120. Let's just take a guess. And that's about where it is. So looking very strong there. We move into her log press here. And again, looking very strong with the log. If this is slightly above contest weight, she's got no problem there. Scrolling through, so some more log repetitions there. She's doing some tricep work here. And this is kind of like the ab roller, but with a barbell. I've never seen that done before. That's awesome. The person squat, a tried and true classic. And then we move through a little more. So here she's doing some traditional squats, some box step-ups. And then as we go through, we have some meal stuff. We have some push presses here. And then I'm just going to scroll through. Some of these posts are multiple page posts. I want to make sure I get them all. Some overhead pressing. This is one of my favorites, bench pressing from the floor. I love how it makes my back feel. And then we move into, she's doing front and side raises. Then moving forward, it looked like maybe some apparel stuff there. Here she's going to be doing some more squats. And then here we have some, what she calls light farmers, speedy light legs. So Let's see what that looks like. It may be 40, let's, 245s and 210s. 110 per arm plus the weight of the farmers. That's not that light. That could be 200 pounds or close to it per hand. Then as we move through some more, let's see, did I get everything there? Yep. Want to make sure we find everything, because the big surprise is she's actually doing tire flips and a maneuver similar to a car lift, which I haven't really seen the others doing. I've seen one other lady doing the tire flip, but here she's doing a tire flip for 10 reps. And one of the comments is, how much is that tire? Ours is 200, meaning most likely 200 kilos, so 440 pounds. And if that is what she's flipping here, that's right in the bread and butter of what the contest is going to require of her. So great there. And then if we scroll through a bit more, here she's doing deadlift into axle deadlift, but I want to skip this one because she actually does this same series at a heavier weight in a different pose. So we'll get there in a moment. As we keep scrolling through, we have some photographs here, and then just make sure I go through each individual one so we don't miss any of her awesome prep. This is just a bunch of photographs of friends, some step-ups again, perhaps family there. Again, bench pressing from the floor, Golden Girls. We have some squatting. Then here we have some Viking press, so that's definitely going to be required of the competition. Oops, looks like that actually had, yep, so it's bench press and Viking, okay. Going to the next post, or previous post as it were, log pressing. This is the one I wanted you to see. So here she's actually deadlifting considerably more weight. I would say that's 3 45-pound plates, so 315, guessing if it's a 45-pound bar. That axle press is what's throwing me, because it's less weight on the bar, but she's lifting, it looks like the whole stands with it, and I don't know how to judge what that weighs. But here's what I was talking about. She's one of the very few ladies I've seen do a neutral grip lift or pull with a bunch of weight behind her like a car pull will be. So I got to give her a lot of credit for mimicking that. And she is doing this deadlift medley, even though on the overhead presses she really wasn't doing medley, she was doing individual events. So wanted you to see that. And that's probably a good place to stop and go over to the magic spreadsheet, where we determine how well she's going to do in each of these areas. So here's Jules Mansfield on row 10. And her axle, we said, was 120. So I think that makes her the second best axle presser. She did Mauser block for 2 reps at 120. So I think that makes her the best Mauser block lifter, because only Alila Worley lifted a Mauser block in her prep. She's the only other one to do it. So then we move over to Viking press. She did 180 for 3. And again, this like approximately equals 191 is just so I can compare ladies to each other when they're doing different numbers of reps from each other. But she did 180 for 3, and the contest is 145. So if she's all over that, that's probably going to be a good 8 reps, I would say. And then the items in green, again, are kind of averages of each piece of that medley, so I can kind of take who's better at each part of the medley and then determine, like, as an average, who's going to do better in that medley overall. And I was missing the log, so let's say on the log, it's 120 again, we said, slightly over contest weight, and again, just like the axle, I think that makes her the second best log presser of the group. So lower is better here. I think she's the second best in this medley after Lisa Coro. Deadlift medley, we go to the spreadsheet cell, 315 pounds for 3 reps. That's one of the latest posts we just saw. I think that makes her the best deadlifter. I don't know. Let's think about that. So Alila Worley actually deadlifts a lot more, but this is a speed event, and if 310 is required and 315 is already above what's required, and Jules is doing 3 reps at a weight that's above what's required, does it really matter if someone else can lift a whole lot more if they can't lift 310 faster, right? So that's what I'm trying to judge. Can Alila Worley lift 310 faster than Jules Mansfield can? Maybe. You know, I think Lisa Caro can lift it faster than all of them. because she did 335 with no effort. I'm going to say Lisa is actually the best deadlifter. And then I'm going to say Alila Worley 2, Jules Mansfield 3. Okay, moving on to the axle. I don't know how much Jules' axle weighs, so I'm going to have to make her basically third best, just like I did on regular deadlift. And then car pull, she's the best because she's the only one doing it. I don't know the weight, but no one else is really doing a car pull. Lisa Coro is doing trap bar lift, which is similar, but with the weight at her side instead of behind her. So I would make her second best in that portion of the medley just because no one else is doing it. And because she did 10 reps with it, which is pretty exciting. So, moving on to the farmers and frame. Jules had a light farmers. Let's see. So I had Alila Worley at 225 pounds coming in first there. I had Megan Hogg. Megan Hogg is very fast. So I'm going to keep Jules Mansfield where she is at fourth best in the farmers. We didn't see her do a frame, so keep her right there as well. And then the stones, we didn't see her do any stones, so I'm going to keep her at fourth place across the board there. And then tire flips, she did do tire flips we think might be 440 pounds or 200 kilos. So, and she did, it looked like 9 reps, so 9 or 10 reps. So that would be second best to the only other person doing tire flips, which would be Alila Worley. So how does all that break down into a placing, you may ask? Well, let's go have a look. Here's my placing. Now, let me make sure that any changes we didn't just make didn't just change that. So Jules Mansfield, again, lower is better. Overhead press medley would come in second. So let's make sure we have that right. Going over, that would be 5 points. In the overhead, yes. And if we move into the deadlift, there may be a little bit of a change here that we just made, so let's have a look there at the deadlift. So the deadlift medley, I have Lisa winning, I have Jules still in second. So 5 points there, even with the change that we made, and then Alila Worley would come in third there. So, yeah. So then that would be 5 points for Jules again on the deadlift with 4 for Worley. Yep, so that still looks right. And then we have the farmers, 3 points for fourth place, the same for stones. And tire flip, I gave her 5 points for coming in second. I don't think any of that changes. Her total is 21 points, and I think Jules Mansfield hits the podium, third place. Take it to the bank. My block strongest man said so. So, that's your podium. We haven't done our profile on Alila Worley yet, but I'll break down for you every reason why her prep says she's going to win this, although barely by a point. Lisa Coro has really a fighting chance here to take that winning place because she's only a point behind. But Alila Worley, Lisa Coro, Jules Mansfield is your podium. Thanks again for joining me on My Block Strongest Man. Come back soon where I do some more athlete profiles. We're going to try to get a lot of them in before the contest so you get to know all of the athletes and are really excited to see them all compete on January 23rd. Thanks again for joining me, and of course, until next time, ciao, homie. So if you like this video and want to learn more about any of the products I described during this video, make sure to check out the links in the description below. So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also, stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.